Hey, friends, welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Heat Press for Profit podcast powered by Stalls. This is episode 101, and I do want to thank you for tuning in. Today, we are talking all about efficiencies in your process and your workflows from the front door all the way to the press floor. Yes, from sales to shipping. We're covering everything all about efficiency for your apparel decorating business, whether you're running your own brand, maybe even you're a distributor, right? And trying not to decorate anything in-house. We're covering a lot of stuff here today. So, of course, I want you to be more confident and capable in your apparel decorating business to really crush your goals this year. That's what everything we do here at Stalls is all about, helping your business grow and be more successful. Of course, we're going to cover the fundamentals of efficiency here today and the impact that it has for decorators, both big and small. So if you're still just a home-based business, no worries, right? You're doing this as a side hustle. No worries. This is going to be stuff that you're going to be able to take back to your business and make actionable change here today, right? So we're going to talk about saving time. Of course, we have to talk about reducing those misprints and mistakes because it is so detrimental to profitability, especially for those smaller businesses, right? We want to reduce those mistakes. We want to save time in every single step of your process or workflow. And all of this combined, of course, is going to give you more time in the day to produce more orders or make more sales or do more marketing or spend more time with your family. Either way that you slice the pie here, you're going to be increasing your profits too, because with more time in the day, time is money, right? In any industry, specifically here in the apparel decorating industry too, right? So we're going to talk about those efficiencies far beyond just when you're at press, right? So if you're decorating with a direct to garment printer, or maybe you do embroidery too, right? We're going to talk about some efficiencies that you could harness in your workflow, whether you are doing bulk or even print on demand. With e-commerce absolutely exploding, many apparel decorators are utilizing e-commerce, whether it be Etsy or white label online stores or Shopify, to be able to sell, right? So harnessing that and reducing those manual touch points throughout the entire process too. So of course, I mentioned we want to help build your business, and that's what we do here at Stalls. From these podcasts and all of our educational content, we want to inspire new ideas for you and your business that's going to help you reach your goals, right? So be sure to join the community over on Facebook at the Heat Press for Profit Facebook page. Just search it up and you'll find a community of thousands of decorators just like you that are willing to help you, right? There's no gatekeeping there at all. But if you're not already a member of that group, go over and follow that group. We also have our Easy Prints Decorators group on Facebook, specifically for our Transfer Express brand, or any questions that you might have with the very powerful Easy View Online Designer that I absolutely love. But of course, it's your peers, it's the community. There is support for you, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and that job's due in the morning and you're freaking out because you're running into issues. Somebody is going to be there and respond. I know a lot of our experts here at Stalls and a lot of our content creators and educators are in those groups. I know I chime in multiple times every single day into those conversations. And I love to hear about not just the challenges of apparel decorators like you, but I also like to hear about the successes and wins, because then I get to amplify you, your brand, your voice, and your solution that you have to overcome these challenges to help other decorators out. So be sure you join those Facebook groups. But I have to say, absolutely love all of the online education, all of the virtual education that's out there, from YouTube to TikTok, right? I love it, but I love connecting in person so much more. And we have a whole line of events coming up. You can check them over at stalls.com or at transferexpress.com, where all of the events are going to be. I know just next week, right? So May 9th and 10th in Lebanon, Tennessee, right outside Nashville, is the Decorated Apparel Expo. So if you're in the area, be sure to come on, stop by. I actually am very excited to be traveling down to that one. So if you're coming, come say hi. Let's print a t-shirt. Let's maybe print a hat, right? Let's talk about how heat transfer solutions could really benefit your business. But we're going to go far beyond that here today in a lot of efficiencies and workflows. Of course, DAC Chicago, hot on the heels of that at the end of May. Then Graphics Pro Expo in Indianapolis. That's June 19th through 21st. Decorated Apparel Expo in Minneapolis is August 1st through 2nd. And then Graphics Pro back in Long Beach. Then, of course, the big shows in the fall. We have Printing United in the end of October, I believe, down in Orlando, as well as Impressions in Dallas, the early end of October. I don't know the specific dates offhand, but I know I'll be headed down for that one. Always excited. And a whole slew of in-person education right there, right? So we do have the live chat going here. So every single Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we are live right here, simulcasting a live podcast, live information, live education for you across the internet, from LinkedIn to YouTube and Facebook. And if you're tuning in right now across any of those channels, feel free to drop a comment down below. They come right here into the studio in real time, so I could read them and pull them right on up, just like Phil here, right? See, right on screen, there's Phil. Hello, everyone. Hello, Phil. I hope you're doing good. And yeah, everybody here. I see Mill Park and Doug and Trendy Lioness Couture. So that is awesome. And here, see, look, waiting on my samples to check out the products from you guys. Absolutely. They're on the way. And I hope you are just as wowed as I am by our products. I know I use them all the time, but we're not really going to focus. Well, we'll talk about heat printing here today. Of course, it's a Stalls podcast. We are going to talk about it, and the show is called Heat Press for Profit. But I want to go far beyond those borders today, right? Whether you're doing embroidery, whether you're doing direct to garment, maybe even some screen printing too, right? I want to talk about the efficiencies that you could take from this podcast here today and apply them to your business, all the way from automation, right? So we have a bunch of folks here already listening live with us, and I wanted to ask these questions when we had a good group of people here with us. So if you're just tuned in just in time. The question here: what do you think is the most important thing that you could do to improve efficiency in your business? That's question number one, right? What do you think you could improve on with efficiency adds to your business today, right? And I also want to ask, what are you going to do with all the extra time that you save, right? Because I think that's important when we talk about decorators. Are you going to increase your total overall order capacity? Or are you going to spend more time with the family? Or like a day like today in Ohio, it's 80 degrees outside, right? I want to be outside. I want to be enjoying this spring weather after being cooped up all winter in this cold weather and all this snow, right? So whether you are new or whether you have been decorating for a while, you're going to find something here today in this podcast, hopefully, that could help you out and really, truly help grow your business, right? So enough housekeeping. Let's get right into the efficiencies and workflows that you could use and apply towards your business that are going to really ease your process and really improve your profitability. So what I want to do here today through this podcast is I want to look at the entire apparel decorating workflow, from capturing a sale to shipping that order out or having a customer come pick it up, or maybe you even deliver it too, right? So I have been in the apparel decorating industry for well over 15 years now. I've had the luxury of decorating myself. I learned how to screen print on my kitchen table back in 2009, all the way to working through multiple different print shops, varying in size all the way up to I believe the one had 12 autos, right? So like huge screen printing shops, and here now at Stalls, Transfer Express, and all of our Stalls brands, right? So I've had this really unique perspective into the ways that different decorators are decorating apparel and the different efficiencies that they take that work for their business, right? So there are, of course, a lot of software solutions now that are available that weren't available back in the day, right? All of these technological advancements when we talk about in terms of equipment or, yes, software, right? That make your job so much easier as a decorator and really save all of these manual steps that we used to have to take, right? So regardless if you're doing e-commerce and print on demand, of course, another thing that is really kind of accelerated in the past few years, and one of the shops I was working at back in 2014 was really kind of leading the way into this print on demand future, right? Because it was direct to garment was really just commercially viable. The quality was there that you could actually sell that at retail pricing, right? So and then we saw the pandemic happen and e-commerce absolutely exploded. So if you are not already doing e-commerce in any way, that is one thing that you should get into right now, right? But when we talk about print on demand, we're talking about minimal pieces, right? Sometimes it's one piece coming through the shop, and you have to really reduce the touch points to remain profitable, right? Because you make this huge margin on these bulk orders. And while there still is a great margin on single piece orders, you need to be able to handle that efficiently throughout the entire process to be able to truly retain profit, right? I know when I was just starting decorating apparel, I just started printing shirts for my own band, right? So we're printing shirts for the band, other people see it, and we're mostly doing bulk orders, right? But when you're not factoring in your time into your profitability, you have the best month ever. Oh man, I sold so many t-shirts this month, right? This is great. And then you look back at it and you're like, man, I printed more shirts than I ever have in an entire month. And why didn't I make money, right? Because you're not factoring in that time. So we're going to talk about reducing those touch points here today, right? So, of course, bulk orders still there, right? And we still have those touch points, but you kind of set it up and then you're able to run it. So you get a little bit more profitability in there. But if you're not factoring into that setup time or the touch points before and after the order, like when we talk about receiving or sales or mocking things up, right? So I want to walk through the entire process. We'll start with getting the order, and hopefully, if we make it through all the time at the end here today, that will get through shipping out the door. And then if you have any questions out there, I love to be interactive in these live podcasts. And of course, if you're listening to this on a replay, let us know, right? Join in that community conversation on Facebook, or just go ahead and message us over on YouTube, or leave a chat in the chat section, right? So in the comment section, and we will be happy to answer it. I will say the majority of those I answer myself because I want to be available to help your business grow, right? So first things first, right? Sales is where every single order is going to start, whether it is that e-commerce print on demand order or it is a custom quote, right? So let's talk a little bit about the difference between print on demand, right? Because print on demand, you're going to have some order source online. Otherwise, when you're manually tabulating all these orders, keeping a list, a spreadsheet, right? Like you at least have some kind of Google form to be able to consolidate all of these orders. Now, Google Forms, of course, you have to go into spreadsheets and stuff. So having software that's automatically going to place things in an order, similar to like Shopify, right? So you want to have all of these line items that at least have all of the information and details all in one spot and not be manual and not be able to be overridden and allow you to do these different controls, right? So when we're doing print on demand, obviously you're going to have an e-commerce solution. Now, one thing for customers that I know those customers that typically have been doing bulk orders, right? They see this new economy that we live in, right? And everybody's looking to be more sustainable and everybody's kind of pinching pennies here and there. So that school, right? Let's just use a local school, for example, where they used to just be able to say, hey, $900, here's our bulk order for 300 t-shirts or whatever it might be. And they don't bat an eye, right? But then they see people not actually wearing them or like, this doesn't fit right. This isn't the color that I like, right? So they want to produce apparel that people are actually going to want to wear. And that's where they see these solutions of online stores, right? So like with Stahl's Fulfill Engine, you have the ability to stand up these white label online stores. So they're completely branded, right? And so a white label store is completely branded to your customer. They do not know, their end customer doesn't know that you exist. So when you go shop on that store that you set up for that school, it looks like you're ordering from that school, not ordering from Dave's print shop, right? So it automatically is going to add that layer right up front, right? So, but when we talk about standing up an online store, right, we have to have product photos. We have to have store listings, descriptions. We need to set up all of those things, which it's really easy to set that up right on the front end, right? So instead of going through the old way that I've done for literally 15 years is you have a file, you make a mock-up. So I'm in Photoshop and placing it, right? And being able to just literally upload a print file as you're building the product, you stop doing the same work twice, right? Because then when I go to actually order something, I'm going to have to upload the print file again to usually a different website, right? So like, it's so easy to just take that efficiency right off the bat and build a product with a pixel perfect mockup all right in a product builder. So that's like one level of automation that you could use right there. That's going to save you that. And that's just a piece of software, right? Stahl's Fulfill Engine. That saves you all of that when you're setting up that product right off the bat. So now you have a mock-up, you have a production recipe, and you have your product listing all ready to go with just a couple clicks, right? So browsing a catalog, selecting, yes, I want that next level 3600. I want it available in black and heather gray, and here's my logo. at 11 inches, and it automatically is going to size everything for you, generate a product mockup that's following through the entire order process, right? So that's pretty cool. That's really awesome, right? Now, going back to the bulk process, when we're talking about bulk printing, right? Now we're going to make that mockup and everything too, right? But my number one thing when I was doing a lot of decoration in bulk quantities for these bands, right, that I was printing for, was pricing. I didn't have a standardized price list. So every single time I'm looking at like, okay, I did kind of have like a price per impression, which I guess you could say is a standardized price list, but like I would have to go, number one, go look up the item. Hey, we want a next level 3600. So I would go look at the price of what a next level 3600 is going to cost me. Of course, at first I didn't factor in that sizes 2X and up were sometimes almost double the cost of the regular t-shirt, right? You need to be factoring that in, right? And you need to be quoting that for your customers. So I need to get the blank cost from Sanmar or wherever you're ordering apparel from, right? So you get the blank cost first. Now I have to add on my decoration cost, right? Which in some cases is fixed, right? When we talk about heat transfers, right? We're going to buy DTF transfers. We know exactly what that's going to cost, but I'm going to have to go in and manually quote out that job, right? So from going and searching the price of the blank, from searching the price of the transfers or quoting it out, looking at the size of the image, the colors in the art, right? Even when we talk about screen printing, you need all this information to be able to quote it out, as well as different print locations, right? So we have 4 or 5 different things here that we need to be able to provide an accurate quote. And then we have to manually build that quote. So standardizing the price list right off the bat allows you to just put in that scenario real quick, and it automatically is spitting a price back at you. So if you do not have standardized pricing, that is something that you need to do right now. Now, some people build a worksheet in Excel or something, or Google Sheets, right? And be able to type in certain things. Like I went to art school. I'm not a wizard in Excel, right? And I know so many small creators, entrepreneurs and businesses that like don't excel in spreadsheets, right? If we excelled in spreadsheets, we should be working at a tax firm somewhere, making a ton of money, right? Like, no, we want to be creative. We want to be entrepreneurs, right? We want to be that small business owner. And yeah, so you're probably not good at spreadsheets if you're here. If you are, raise your hand. That's awesome, right? So that's awesome. But when we talk about that standardized pricing, it's so much easier to use a consolidated price list that essentially is going to price it as you build that product, right? For bulk, or when we talk about those online store products too. Again, Fulfill Engine has this in there that allows you to take those standardized price lists and you set the markup, right? So whatever you want your margin to be, that's what it's going to be, right? And so I know that just kind of like a side note here, I know coming up through the industry that there's so many people that are like, I want that Bella Canvas 3001, right? I love it. And then I want to do a print on the front and on the back and maybe an inside label too. And let me print on the sleeve too, right? And when you start quoting that all out, it comes, for 25 pieces, it's coming to like 25 or 30 bucks per shirt. And then that person looks at you like, man, that's really pricey. It's not really all that pricey. They just want a lot, right? Don't shortchange yourself, because then, especially if you're making all these manual touch points, even on that smaller piece job, 25 with 4 print locations, if you're bending to what their budget allows, you are going to lose money on the order in the time alone it's going to take to decorate it. Where time is so valuable, right? It's this fixed, we have a set amount of time in each day, right? So if you are you're not working at that maximum efficiency, right? You're not being productive. You're not, kicking out the 100 shirts per hour of whatever, whatever benchmark you've set for yourself, you're going to be losing money, right? So time is money. You always need to be thinking of that. And just a Dave tip for you, don't sell yourself short, right? There are certain instances, I mean, being a musician, you're doing it for exposure, man, right? Like there are some instances where like, if you have that true feeling that this is going to lead to more work, don't do it at a loss, right? Maybe do it at cost, right? Just want to make sure that you are making profit through all of this, right? So we talked a little bit about those bulk orders, talked a little bit about that print on demand. We have that standardized price list, and now we have that online store listing set up very, very easily, very minimally, right? So the thing I really love about online stores is you sell when you sleep. When you're manually handing every single custom quote, right? and then going back through and reordering everything, or, even in some cases you quote it out and then that item's out of stock the next week when the customer turns around and says, hey, I'm ready to order. And now you're scrambling to find other things. And when you're searching on the internet for replacement garments, again, it's time, right? So let's move from that sales. Customer has purchased. Yes, they saw the mock-up. Hey, this is awesome. This is exactly what I want to do. Maybe they didn't see the mock-up yet, and they say, yeah, and your policy is, my time is valuable, right? So my policy is you need to pay me first before I do a mock-up. I will say 2 out of the 3 print shops that I worked for, 100%, that was the policy. Hey, you want to see a mock-up? That's cool. You could pay an artwork fee, pay us $30 and we'll make a mock-up for you, or just pay for your job and we'll make a mock-up. If you're unhappy with the mock-up, we're not producing the job. And at any time, we could refund your order until the blanks are ordered and the screens are burnt or the artwork's prepped or whatever right before it enters production. So there was that level of, hey, we're not here to waste our time, right? But that's an efficiency that we could take with our time. Now, when it's all automated, well, we could approach the profitability of that much different. Here's a mock-up. You have your print file? Cool. Here's a mock-up, right? It's ready to go and right out the door, right with your quote, right? So you can see it with the quote. And I always say that helps close sales too, especially when you're a smaller business. People really love seeing their idea come to life, right? There's this inherent sense of trust in the apparel decorating industry where people are coming to us as the decorators saying, I have this idea in my head and I want you to turn it from an idea in my head to a tangible product that I could touch and feel and wear. It represents me, right? So when you could show them that idea brought to life on the apparel, sometimes even mocked up, like on somebody wearing it, right? Immediately it connects all those dots and it really helps you close those sales. So not only do mock-ups cover your behind, right? In case of any disputes, hey, that print's way too small. Well, this is exactly what I showed you on the mock-up. Or it was supposed to be white ink, not black ink. Well, you approved the mock-up, right? So always have those mock-ups before you enter any production to cover your behind, but also help you close those sales too, right? So the sales closed, right? What's the next step? Well, now we have to go and actually order all that apparel, right? We have to prep the art if we have any artwork that came from our customer, right? We have to, maybe in some cases, right, in those bulk orders, you're mocking it up, right? So you are ordering transfers. You're using heat transfers, right? Maybe you have to order thread or something to make sure that you have the right thread if you're embroidering it, right? There's all of this prep that goes forward, from ripping a file to direct to garment, or getting it set up and ripped to print on your direct to film printer, right? If you have one of those, right? So digitizing the file, turning it into a DST, right? So ensuring that you're going to make that happen, which, speaking of DSTs, I see Rawworks chiming in here. Number one saying hello from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll be down in Tennessee if you're coming to the Decorated Apparel Expo at the beginning of May. That's in Lebanon, just a little bit east of Nashville. I know a little bit of a drive for you, but the Stahls Transfer Express do a conversion of graphics to DST files. So DST files used for embroidery, as a little side note here, and it depends, right, for what you need. If you have an embroidered patch, right, you want to order an embroidered patch from Stahls, 100%. We will do all of the conversion. You don't even have to worry about getting a DST file. Just send us the print ready artwork. And our team's going to handle it, digitize it, and then proof it with you, right? So definitely something to put in there. So yeah, and then I see you next week, right? But we do not currently have a service, at least widely available or publicly available, that you could just get a file digitized. Literally just start. This is a good joke. It makes me laugh before I even tell it, right? So if you want to find a digitizer, number one, just start an Instagram profile and say that you're in the apparel decorating industry. And I guarantee you're going to have 25 direct messages straight to you in one day saying, hey, do you need files for digitization? So sorry to anybody who just cold DMs everybody on Instagram. Need files digitized? Do you do embroidery? Right? You're going to find somebody doing a DST file. Once you find somebody that you like, that is good service, good turnaround time, there are also services out there like Graphic Source, right? Like where you could just send them files and they digitize them within like a 24-hour turnaround and send it back to you. There's subscription services that you could use. But if you find somebody in your local area, hold on to them, right? There are certain people who just throw it through an automated program and like you get what you get. And then when you actually go to stitch it out, it's a bumbled rat's nest, right? It doesn't actually know how to stitch. When you find somebody who knows embroidery, just like very much you find somebody who knows screen printing, that's designing artwork for screen printing, it's so much better, right? So you find somebody who is an embroiderer themselves, and they truly understand what makes a good DST file, and hold on to them. Go to them all the time. But again, look, now we're sending an email to somebody, right? Or reaching out to them on Instagram and be like, hey, can you prep this file for me, right? And it's delaying you. It's that manual process. We want to remove those, right? To be truly successful, we want to remove those processes. So like when you build a product for an online store and you upload the actual print file instead of just uploading a low-res JPEG to be that product photo, right? And the system is automatically mocking this up for you, that is time savings down the road. Somebody orders it, you don't have to do anything, right? Now, of course, the first step is ordering apparel, which is the number one thing that I disliked, right? I hate it. It's my least favorite part of every single day, going on to Sanmar, going, all right, next level 3600, black, large. All right, I sold one of those. All right, next line item, a next level 3600 navy and extra large. Okay, next level 36 navy, extra large, right? And going in and ordering all that apparel every single day is so labor intensive and time consuming. So with software, like Fulfill Engine we're talking about, it automatically is going to batch that. So everything that sold yesterday is in a batch today. And you have the control to say, I need it ordered every single day. Order it every single day at 8 a.m. and it places your order on your account with your apparel supplier. And it's not just Sanmar, so it's S&S, Alpha Broder, Carolina Made, Lane 7, AS Color. There's another one that I'm not mentioning off the top of my head, but pretty much anywhere you're buying custom apparel, JDS Industries, it's all built in there, right? So it's automatically going to add to your account. It's automatically going to batch this together so that it's going to order it automatically. No more having to log on there, right? And go, hey, I need to order this, right? So that hour that you took every single day ordering apparel, or every other 2 days, or whatever it is, whenever you consolidate and order your apparel for your orders, that's gone. What are you doing with that extra time then, right? So that allows you to be so much more profitable and focus on other things. So that one alone, if you could automate your apparel purchasing, you are saving so much time, right? And because it's automatically ordered by the system, when you go to receive that item, now it knows what's in that shipment. No going through the packing slip. I just had one behind me because I was just opening a box from Sanmar, right? That I ordered manually, right? Going through the packing list and going, all right, that one black, large, next level 3600. All right, cool. Here it is. All right, that one navy XL 3600. All right, here it is. Then I have one, ivory Bella Canvas 3001. I mean, where's it at? Where's it at? Right. And going through and like, no, the system's going to know exactly what's in that shipment and allow you to easily and quickly receive it and inventory it, sort it for those decoration methods, which is huge. Yes. And so I see a chat here, right? Doug says, be careful with crappy digitizing. 100%, right? That exact same thing that I mentioned, where if you have a digitizer and you're using the cheapo services, right? You usually pay for what you get. It just is never going to stitch good. And you could give them the best vector high resolution file. It's never going to actually stitch out good. And okay, cool, whatever. It doesn't matter how good your file is, right? When you give it to a digitizer, it's how it's going to look for the end customer. We all want our finished products to look great. So, Learn with Vicky says, beware of auto digitizers. 100%, right? If it seems too easy in a single click digitizer, totally not the efficiency that you want to be working towards here, right? Because it's going to matter to your quality at the end of the day, right? So, and yeah, this is a great question because we're talking about Fulfill Engine as we talk about DST files from all of our other questions in digitizing. When you use Fulfill Engine, you have to upload a DST file in order to set up embroidery. And that's exactly right. Because when you're setting up that product, you're not just mocking it up for this interstitial step. No, you're knocking out all of the birds with one stone, right? You're setting up the product. You're creating a mock-up that is true to size and accurate. And with embroidery here too, you're actually even specifying the exact thread colors of what you're going to be stitching it with. So this production blueprint becomes a production blueprint for you if you're producing in-house. And so you don't have to second guess anything. You don't have to think. the order, all that information is attached to the item once it's received, because the system knows what it ordered that blank for. It knows what decoration's going on it. So when you receive that item, it says, hey, here's a barcode, a QR code that's going to go on that shirt that you're going to scan, bloop, boop, and it's instantly going to pull up the artwork on the file on screen, right? And that file, that DST file that you uploaded, right? Unplug it from a USB drive from your computer right into your embroidery machine. That stitch file is set, ready to go with the thread information for what you have in-house. Talk about efficiencies, right? Now you're not going back through the server. All right, where did I save that DST file for that customer? None of that, right? It's all saved cloud-based in the actual software that recalls it when you need it, right? And you don't have to go searching for it at all. So yes, that's a great thing to call out here, Railsworks, because I want to be fully transparent when we talk about embroidery, right? So, and this, Learn with Vicky, absolutely, right? Vicky says, ask if they own a machine, then you know that they can embroider. And that's exactly the tip, right? You want to find a digitizer, when you're talking about digitizing, who knows embroidery through and through. Same with when you're looking for a graphics solution for screen print separations, right? You want to go to somebody who screen prints, and you're going to get the absolute best result. All right, back on track when we're talking about our efficiencies here. We have our apparel ordered, right? We have our artwork, let's say, prepped, right? We uploaded a print file and it's ready to go. So whether you're printing in-house, right, direct to garment, direct to film, it's hot foldering those items for you so that it's even batching the items that you need to print today if you have your own direct to film printer, right? Hey, these items are being ordered automatically from Sanmar, and the matching artwork is already queued up, ready to go, ready in a hot folder for me to just click, essentially print, and now my orders today are running out. So no more manually building all these gang sheets or spending time to, no, save that time. Have software, technology do it for you, right? We live in this AI revolution. I think so many people don't understand that we are currently living in this, in something larger than even the Industrial Revolution. We know how big it changed the entire world, right? People had ridden horses for thousands of years, right? And all of a sudden, hundreds some years ago, this invention comes along, an automobile, right? What are we going to do with the horses, right? That is where we're living right now in this expanse of technology. And if you don't get excited about it, right, you have to. It is incredible tools in our toolbox, and the things, the opportunities that it affords decorators of any size is business owners of any size, right? Not just apparel decorating, but I love the tools for apparel decorating. But what a time to be alive, right? This is so transitionary of human evolution, right? That we have AI and technology and all this software and the internet, right? It's so great, right? And I know there's people pushing back. There was people who said, what are we going to do with all the horses, right? It's time to embrace it, right? There's no turning this key back. There is no pulling AI and automation out of what we currently do, right? So it is time to embrace it. And the ones who embrace it before all the others are going to reap the benefits before the market gets real crowded and everybody knows how to use these tools, right? So, well, of course, I was a kid in the 90s and I know what life was like before the internet. I get really excited at the promise of what we could build together and the effort that or the lack of effort that really we need to put into it, the lack of time that we need to put into it, right? These tools turn you into an expert in automation or turn you into an expert in apparel decorating, right? Like, you have this ability now. Please use it. I urge you, right? All it takes is a little bit of learning on how to use it. All right, side rant about the current times over, right? And I want to get back into what happens after. So we're ordering everything, right? Maybe we ordered our transfers already from stalls, but we had to go on and upload those 10 files of what we currently have. We went and ordered all the apparel from Sanmar. What happens next? Well, a whole bunch of boxes show up to your front door or your loading dock or wherever you are, right? So you have all these boxes come in and you go sifting through all these paper work orders, all of these POs, traditionally sort it all out, count it all in, and oh man, I'm missing a shirt. Or, hey, that white Bella Canvas 3001 has a stain on it. Well, what happens? Now you have to stop, take a photo of it, go and email your Sanmar rep. Hey, I got one damaged item. I'm going to need replaced. They respond to you the next business day because maybe you didn't get to receiving that order until 4 o'clock and they're already out of the office. So now you're losing 2 or 3 business days trying to get this in, right? So with software automation, one click, unreceive, and it automatically is adding it to the next batch, right? Your speed is of the essence here, right? You will get credited that back at the end of the month when you settle up, right? But in the meantime, your customer is not going to suffer. Your turnaround time is not going to suffer. It's automatically added into that next batch that's going to be coming at the next available shipping date or whatever threshold you set, whether it be that same day or you say, wait until this batch grows to $200 because I want it to ship free to my facility, right? I don't want to pay for shipping or whatever your terms are with your supplier, right? So this gets received and, you'll get it the next day. So you place the order, the system will place the order, and you get it the next day, right? So when we talk about counting in, it is such a laborious process that sometimes takes even these large shops hours and hours to count in all of this apparel. Now with Fulfill Engine, like I mentioned, you have a system that orders the apparel, you have a system that orders the transfers, and then when you receive that PO, you know exactly what's in that shipment because it's going to automatically generate QR codes. Say there's 12 items in that shipment, 12 QR codes are going to be printed out if they're all for individual pieces, right? If it's one bulk order and it's 36 pieces on one order, it's only one QR code that's going to print for that bulk order, right? But for the benefit of saying we need to reduce these touch points for these on-demand pieces, this is how you do it, right? So each barcode is going to say next level 3600 black large. Okay, cool. Boom. Tag it. All right, this one's the next level 3600 navy, right? And the system's actually going to limit these shipments to a maximum of 72 pieces. So you're not going to be sitting there sifting through a box. They're going to be in individual boxes, right? So it makes it so much more streamlined and efficient to be able to receive these items in, right? So no more having to grab this and organizing per deco method. It's going to spec it out and tell you as soon as you tag that item, right? So it's kind of like on rails. This is your guide. This is your Sherpa to guiding the order through your shop. Each one has an individual little Sherpa that's carrying you up the mountain, right? No, it's a little QR code that's going to go on every single garment, and that is the guide, right? That follows it through this entire shop. So that is absolutely incredible right there in terms of tracking, order efficiency, and of course, receiving, right? So you have all of that done. Now, what if you have in-house stock too, right? I hope that you're tracking inventory on that, but it's always it's awful when you have the transfers come in and you're like, oh, I have 2 large next level 3600s, and you turn around and go to the shelf and I only have 1, right? So even if you're running in-house inventory and shipping on demand that way, maybe you're fulfilling for an Etsy store or a Shopify store, it's going to automatically monitor your inventory. You say, hey, I ordered 10 shirts, I stocked them on a shelf. Cool, here's your 10 shirts. And it's going to keep pulling from that inventory until it sets a certain threshold. So if you want to be alerted when it's 5 shirts, hey, you only have 5 shirts left. It's time to reorder, right? So you're never going to be caught off guard like that, or at least you won't. You'll have warning, right? But with the automated ordering, you almost could eliminate a lot of that house stock inventory. And if you're somewhere where I am, my Sanmar orders show up the next day, right? Standard. So I'm close enough to a DC. I know they have distribution centers all over the entire country, and their processing times are so laser quick. I was just out in Arizona a couple weeks ago, and the luxury of having a facility, a Sanmar facility right there where it's like, up. Lunchtime, yep, I'm going to go grab lunch and I'm going to go pick up those orders that I ordered an hour ago, right? And you any size, you don't have to pay for shipping. You just literally show up and they have a little pickup area and you could just pick up your order. Like if you live close to a Sanmar distribution center, I envy you, right? So, or any distribution center, whether it be Carolina Made outside of Charlotte, Lane 7, I think is there in Charlotte too, and they have one in LA, right? So like wherever you live, if it's near or next to a blank apparel supplier, hey, my hat is off to you. You're already winning, right? So, all right, enough about receiving blank apparel. What happens once you receive it and now you have to go to production, right? So you have to, number one, reduce your misprints. You need to make sure, especially when you're juggling all of these single pieces, when we're talking about doing print on demand, there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of single pieces. And every time you need to stop and go, ooh, I need to verify, is that graphic going on a green shirt or that black shirt? Let me go check and see what I sent my customer or what's on that online store. You're losing profitability right there, right? You cannot do that. You need to be a well-oiled machine coming through. And that's where a system like Fulfill Engine puts you on the rails. You scan the QR code, it's going to show you the mock-up that was on the product page right there on screen. Oh, it's white text, blue, and that one's going on the black shirt. And this one with the green is going on the green shirt, right? So you know exactly what's going to happen. You know the print locations. It shows it all on screen. And then you couple that with, say, something like the ProPlace IQ, right? Where it's actually projecting. If you've seen that, oh man, go Google search ProPlace IQ Hottronics if you have not seen one of these machines. It essentially is a dual station heat press, so like very, very commercial grade, but and high efficiency on its own, but it has projectors that shoot down, and essentially you just place the transfer to where the light is. The only training and the only thing you have to do is ensure that the shirt is loaded on straight, which is so super easy to be able to bring somebody in. Like I could bring my mom in. She's 70 years old. And hey, you know, she just retired. She retired yesterday. So good job, Mom. Congrats. Now her retirement plan is printing shirts for me in my basement. I'm just kidding. But I know some people do leverage their family members, right? So all I have to do is teach her how to, hey, open this up, hold the side seams, load this on all the way, back the collar off, and that's it. Take the logo, place it to the light, right? So it's so easy to bring somebody on board versus the days of, you know, all right, well, this one's 3 fingers down and, oh, you left chest. Oh yeah, we want to go to the collar and come this down. Oh, no, not, you're a little crooked there. And that's where it takes weeks, months, years to really master that, right? Where it could be on rails, automated. You scan a QR code and it's showing you exactly where the placement is. It's showing you on screen exactly what the mock-up's supposed to be. So like, so important to reducing misprints and not thinking about it, right? You know what you're doing is accurate because the system has you on rails. It is absolutely needed for doing print on demand. Imagine doing that with like paper work orders, right? All right, so the orders that I'm going to do today for this on-demand store, let's just say for some simplicity, 10 shirts you have to print today, right? And they're all different, right? They come from different online stores, or maybe they all just come from one online store, but they're different shirts, right? Matching them all up, taking the transfer, matching it up, and then checking the paperwork order. Okay, that's going to be the right one. That's the shipping. All right, cool. And then getting them to press and printing. It's so much hand holding. That's going to take you all day to do those 10 shirts. And if you're making $5, $6 a shirt on 10 shirts, you're making 50 or 60 bucks in a day. And that's going to take you the full, no, there's no way you're going to profit with that. And that's why so many decorators, whether you're seasoned and you've been doing it for a long time or brand new, are like, ooh, print on demand, that's too complicated for me. You're missing out on so much revenue. You're missing out on so many sales opportunities by not taking advantage of print on demand. There's 5 years from now, right? Every single buddy is going to be offering print on demand. That's how the garment decorating is going to be, right? I've watched it happen in front of my eyes, right? That's why I started printing myself. Because if I could have bought just a couple shirts for my band, I didn't know how many we were going to sell. Maybe I wanted one for me. Maybe I wanted to sell them or give them as gifts for family and friends, right? If I could, 15 years ago, if I could have ordered just a couple shirts, I may have never learned how to print myself, right? I couldn't pony up the money to buy 48 shirts for my band. I was a broke college kid, right? With a band that just wanted to sell merch. We live in this day and age where that's possible now. And if you are a decorator, especially if you're just getting started and you're trying to plant your flag, right? You're going to get beat out by other people in your industry who are offering those services. It doesn't mean that you have to force people into it. When a band comes to you and goes, hey, we're going on tour, we need 250 shirts. Hey, got you. Sweet, right? Absolutely. But there's a reason why Taylor Swift also has merch that she sells on site, as well as an online store that's fulfilled print on demand. I don't have to put the risk into getting all that inventory pre-printed, right? If it doesn't sell. I talk about my band all the time, right? There are boxes and boxes, and I've donated a whole bunch of them now, but there are still boxes that I kind of keep because I want the band to get back together one of these days, right? But there are boxes and boxes of apparel in my garage that are still left unsold, right? And that was risk. That's financial risk that your customers are taking on, right? And it might be profit in your pocket, but then they're never coming back to order from you. Instead of saying, hey, I saw that you guys moved a whole bunch of pieces last year. What do you say we revamp this entire store for 2026, right? New seasonal, right? This is the stuff that you could do with that extra time that you're saving when you're not chasing work orders around your shop or misprinting shirts and then having to reorder everything again. That's cutting into your profitability. That's cutting into your time. And honestly, come on, that's going to be cutting into your sanity there too, right? So, okay, when we talk about production, regardless of how it is, right? So, when we talk about Fulfill Engine, because we've talked about Fulfill Engine a little bit here today, ultraviolet DTF, so UV DTF for stickers, integrated into the system. You could be doing hard goods on demand, right? You can even leverage this network, right? Because when we talk about building this product in this online store builder, essentially, which you're going to do for bulk or on-demand products. But when you say, this is the apparel I want to print on, this is my print file, it creates that recipe, that production blueprint, right? Well, because that production blueprint now is standardized, anybody running Fulfill Engine could essentially produce that order for you, right? So there's a network of decorators that are trusted quality, number one, right? Because quality for me and so many decorators I talk to just like you, that is first and foremost, the absolute most paramount is quality, number one. So ensuring that it goes to this network, right? So whether you want to decorate in-house or send it to the network, it's literally a checkbox that you just click in the system. So say you decorate everything in-house, but you want to go on that spring break vacation or that summer vacation, right, with the family, and you don't want to worry about closing the store or losing sales or having your customers who are like, well, the baseball tournament's going to be a week after that. Like, people are going to be ordering that week for items that are going to the baseball tournament. Like, what do you mean you're going to close your store down? What do you mean you're not going to be ordering, right? Like, you don't have to worry about that. Click the checkbox and it's going to outsource to another decorator that's going to be doing the exact same quality that you're able to produce in-house, right? And it's just going to ship to your customer. You hands off, right? Because all you did was build that production recipe. You built that blueprint when you stood the order up, right? So that's the thing, right? So Becky says here, like, right, this is something that we hear so many more people. I hate pre-printing. I'm stuck with shirts that I printed years ago that never sold. Exactly. And it's risk. It's money. That's profit that you never made. And I always say, like, the blanks, I have all of the shirts are black and navy that my band printed that's sitting in the garage still, right? I would have printed on those. Yes. There's so many jobs I would have printed those for and got them out and been money, right? So I see H Web asking here, can we see it at FESPA, right? The ProPlace IQ, I guarantee will be there, as well as Fulfill Engine if you want to get hands-on. I'm sure they'll even have the scan to print. You could see it all at FESPA in Berlin next week. So FESPA is probably the industry's largest global trade show. And so, yeah, HWeb, head on out there. If you're still listening, head on out to FESPA, stop at the stalls booth and check this out, right? So HWeb asks, sounds good, available in Germany. Yeah, stop by and see it at FESPA in Germany when you're there, right? So, but we see so many customers not wanting to take that investment into bulk, so they're moving into that print on demand, right? So we have that. We talked about actually producing shirts with the ProPlace IQ and the projection. We scan the QR code. It shows us on screen that's a black shirt with this logo on the left chest, and there's a logo on the back too. Great. It's projecting it in that exact left chest location. Cool. Because you dragged it to the left chest location when you stood up the product. So it knows exactly where you want that printed, right? Puts you on rails, reducing the misprints. Boom, you're done. You click, yes, it is printed. And it'll say, hey, you got a back print. Oh, nobody wants to miss that back print, right? It's part of the order. Here's the back print. We'll put it on. Boom, done. And then it's going to allow it to green light to go to shipping, right? So when we talk about that, we talked about the embroidery, right? When you scan that hat with that QR code on it, it's going to automatically pull up your DST file and allow you to put that in your machine and have that sew out, right? As soon as that's done, all right, I'm done, right? It's even going to mix these different production methods. If it is an embroidered left chest and maybe a personalized name with DTF on the sleeve of a polo, you can mix and match these decoration methods. All of the pricing is built in that price list that you've already set up with different profit margins, different tiers. You have customers that you want to charge a better price for, and you have ones that you're like, these guys will pay whatever they want. You could use different price lists for different tiers of customers for how much volume they're moving through your shop, or the friends and family discount, or even I've heard decorators use a price list for sampling. So essentially, they're making a very, very minimal cut on it, right? But they're not paying that retail rate. So those customers are like, yeah, I want to order a sample of your stuff. Let me see how this process works, right? It builds that trust. Our customers are trusting us to bring their ideas to life and actually ship them a product that was their idea or what they saw online, right? So you build that trust. Hey, see this quality for yourself. All right, cool. Love this shirt. Showed up in, 7 days or whatever. This is great. Love it, right? I'm ready to order. right? So here is your store. You could have that price list set up for that, so it minimizes the margins and makes it more attractive. And maybe it's the price of like, this is what it's going to cost you. It's $18 for the shirt. Wow, a printed shirt for $18. That's great. You mean I could mark it up and sell it for 30? But your customer's saying this, right? Yes, you can. Mark it up to whatever you want, and then go in and add those extra margins before you publish the online store. Boom, everybody is winning, and now you are that customer's favorite decorator, right? It puts you in the power of this far beyond the efficiency advancements, just the sales tools that you have in there. All right, so we're running out of time here. I do want to wrap up and make sure that we talk about the rest of these efficiencies when we talk about shipping, right? So I know if you run Shopify, if anybody's familiar with Shopify, you could click and order shipping and postage right through Shopify. It pulls the order information in, which is great, right? Like I love that. One click, order a label, and it's printing to the label printer, right? What if you just scan that QR code on that item and automatically a label printed out? Or that was a multi-piece order. So maybe there's a hat that's getting embroidered in your shop and that shirt that you printed direct to garment or direct to film or whatever, right? The direct to film's done. That shirt's done. You scan it. It says, hey, wait, don't ship this out because it's waiting on a hat for the same order. It's going to the same place, right? Go put it in bin B7. The system runs an intelligent bin system, right? So now it's not like, oh, where did I put that one? Or a shelf that you have with a whole bunch of little paperwork orders sticking out to like, all right, when that hat gets done, then you're like, all right, cool. This one's waiting on the hat. All right, this looks like it's order number 753. All right, 753, 753, 75. That's time. That's money that you're wasting when you're going through and, oh, which one is it? I don't know. Okay. Oh, nope, it's here because they're days apart, right? And even if you're doing 10, 15, 20, 25 pieces a day, it still could get very confusing, right? So having a system that automates that, so easy. Automates the shipping information. You're not manually typing in and buying any postage ever, right? You're scanning a QR code for those bulk or on-demand orders that's generating a label that you're slapping on the box, you're bagging it up, and it's out the door. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to hesitate, right? So there's all of these steps from sales all the way through shipping that's going to make it easy, right? No manual data entry. You have the packing slip, even if you want to include that as an option. You could have a packing slip that automatically is going to print out when you scan that QR code label too. So you have the packing slip, fold it up, put it in the poly bag, take the label, slap it on there. And so easy, right? So as we talk about Fulfill Engine a little bit, Steve here says, we are a Fulfill Engine customer. Just do it. No regrets, right? I love that attitude. Love that sentiment of just jumping in, right? No regrets, right? But I bet Steve could chime in here, one of our viewers here on Facebook Live, and say, what is the biggest efficiency gain, right? I would love to hear whether it's apparel ordering, is it the mockups? What is your favorite part of that efficiency gain that you get from utilizing Fulfill Engine? Is it the no mistakes, right? Your reduced mistakes at press, seeing that mock-up always on screen and not having to guess. Is it, the apparel ordering? Is it that production blueprint that you set up, right? Is it those price lists that you get, right? Where you could configure your own price list and make your profit. I'd love to hear here, Steve, of what you could do. Yeah, and Raoul's Works chimes in too here. The quote to order is awesome, right? So instead of building a quote, you're manually pricing out the old way. You're going to manually price this out. You'll run your numbers. You're going to put it in a nice little email, put it to your customer. Maybe you're going to mock it up. So you'll go into Photoshop, drag a low resolution PNG over. You're going to put it in an email. Here's your mock-up. Here's what it's going to cost for these in this broken down thing. Maybe it takes you 5-10 minutes if you are truly super proficient, right? Odds are it's taking you much longer than that. Where the quote to order is, here's a production file. It's going on 36 next level 3600s in size black. I don't know. I'm wearing one today. I'm just talking about it, right? So like, this is the exact shirt. Okay, cool. Here's your price. Do you want to email this to the customer? Yeah. Send it. As soon as they pay, boom, automatically batched. It's ordered. It's in the system. It's going to town, right? The quote to order is absolutely just crushes it when we talk about quoting efficiencies for even just bulk orders you're producing in-house on demand or on demand, right? It's great. So yeah, Raoul's Works, thanks for calling that out there. We talked about a lot of these features, and Steve, I'm still waiting. If you're still tuning in here, I want to hear what your favorite efficiency gain here is, right? So you have that integrated bin system that consolidates all the orders together. You email the customer's tracking information when that label's printed, right? Hey, your order's shipped. You don't have to go and copy that information and go send it. Or even like I know in Shopify, having run a Shopify store for many years now, like you have to go in and actually click, yes, send tracking information to customer, right? And so then that sends the tracking information to the customer. It buys the postage. You slap it on there and it says, hey, your shipping label's created. We've all been there. I know I buy things online all the time and, oh, my order shipped. And you go and it's like, oh, no, shipping label created. We're still waiting on it, right? But at least it's that first step. So it lets your customer know. And it's not that false. I know people who run Shopify stores that I've bought from, or even Etsy stores where it's like, oh, I need to make sure this ships within one day. And they just go ahead and print the label and then it sits there on the counter. And then they have to go rifling through all of these labels, right? All right, which one is this? Nope. This one was for Dave. That's not what's for Dave. And then they go through all these labels, but just to make it look like it printed. This is transparent with your customer, right? So that is why it just consolidates all this and makes it super, super easy, right? So we have, of course, the shipping. All the way done. So it's going to automatically see that bin system. One of my favorite things too on that bin system on multi-piece orders, when it comes back to the system, right? And it says, hey, go get bin B3 because that's where this t-shirt is now that you have the hat done, right? It asks again, hey, let's just confirm the contents of this bin. In case something fell on the shelf and fell into the bin, you're not shipping somebody something that's not theirs, which then when you're going to go, oh my God, where did it go? Right? Where did this other item go? I think I shipped it out to somebody. At least it's still in your shop. So the system even knows it was made by decorators for efficiency and to really boost profits, right? So Steve did chime in. Steve's still listening with us. Steve's favorite part is literally all of it. But pricing out quotes for customers is super fast. Get them to order as fast and as soon as they do, we're making product. And that's it, right? Like truly simplifying everything where you could be hands off if you wanted to. You could just sell apparel and it's automatically outsourcing everything and drop shipping it right to your customer in a network that you can control the storefront for them. You could control all these pricing details in this quote to order, right? Where you could get those bulk discounts on screen printing. If you want to even outsource screen printing through the system, you have the ability to do it, right? It is so incredibly cool to be able to do it. Steve does say too, not wasting time ordering shirts or transfers. The only thing we wait for is the UPS guy to ring the doorbell. That's a great perspective. I think we should get that. The only thing I'm waiting for is the UPS guy, right? So that's definitely a huge portion of it, right? Like like I said, that was my least favorite part of decorating apparel. I love putting ink on any substrate, love it, right? But sitting there behind a computer screen, just scrolling through, and then the shock of, oh man, the extra larges are out of stock. Oh my God. Now I have to find something comparable. Oh, it needs to be in this weird colorway that they ordered. It's this scarlet maroon or whatever. Oh, I have to email the customer and say, hey, this might be delayed. Hey, these shirts are way more expensive because the cheap option is sold out. No, because the system is plugged into S&S and Sanmar and Carolina Made. It knows the inventory. So if someone goes to buy that extra large, weird color red shirt online, it just says out of stock until it's back in stock at the supplier. Never sell a back ordered product again. So, I mean, I don't know. We went way beyond the efficiencies to a lot of these great things. I know we're coming up on an hour, and I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. A big shout out to Rawlsworks and Steve Weber here, who joined us, and even Becky, right? H Webb, and Learn with Vicky, Doug Sobel, right? Everybody who kind of contributed to our conversation here today. In a great, meaningful way. Love the feedback. Again, I love to hear the challenges. I love to hear the successes of what software, how we heard from Steve and Rawlsworks of how Fulfill Engine software really, truly helps them be a better business, right? Be more efficient, be more profitable, and just simplify everything, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, you could always join the Heat Press for Profit Facebook page. And, when we talk about efficiencies, I asked him at the beginning of the show, and I'll ask him again, right? Where do you think you could improve with efficiency in your business? Is it that apparel ordering, right? Is it reducing the misprints? Is it being more automated on your shipping or pickup steps, right? Where can you save the most time to give yourself more time in the day? We can never stop time, right? There's no time machines. Man, I know Doc Brown and Back to the Future really gave us a whole bunch of false hope, but we don't have them yet, right? So we can't go back in time, and we can't pause time, right? What are you going to do with that extra time that you get with those efficiency gains? Time is money in your business. I want you to be successful. I want you to absolutely crush it, right? And you may have processes already in place and you're a step in the right direction. You may have that standardized price list that you reference. It's a step in the right direction, right? But you could set all of these things up, especially if you're just getting started, right? You could limit so much risk that you take on with having to buy or learn how to do an embroidery machine, right? Learn how to use it or buy an embroidery machine, and you could offer embroidery tomorrow for your customers. Custom embroidery for your customers, custom direct-to-garment printing. I'm never going to buy a direct-to-garment printer. Nope, never. But I would love to take advantage of it for those specific items where somebody's full ink coverage over a 15 by 15 area and like, yeah, screen printing's not going to be great with that, and you're not ordering enough pieces for it. And direct-to-film might not be ideal for that because it has these fades to the garment edges, right? It's cloudy. It has these like gradients and like uses the garment color to kind of bring it in slowly with transparency. Probably not the best for direct-to-film. I want to still take advantage. I don't want to turn down that order. I don't want to have to go searching for local DTG printers in my area. No, I just want to sell it. Set the product up, sell it, right? Laser engraving. I've always wanted a laser engraver, but I don't have one, right? I could still sell laser engraved hard goods with Fulfill Engine. There's so many great things. You got to check it out. Go over to stalls.com. And if you go to stalls.com/Fulfill Engine or fulfillengine.com, you could request a quote or request a meeting with your, we're not going to quote you. All the pricing is transparent right there, right? And in many cases, you're paying for Fulfill Engine only when you use it. So if you do those fundraising stores for the schools once a year, you only pay when those orders are coming through the system. It's not a monthly subscription or anything like that, unless you get to these higher tiers where it's custom development and really an enterprise level solution. In that case, request a meeting, right? Schedule a demo. Our technical experts are actually going to walk through. They ask you tons of questions and learn about your business to see where you could get the biggest gain in efficiency and the biggest impact to your own profit. So I want to thank everybody for listening here today. Of course, here at Stalls, all of these podcasts, the education is all built to help you as a business succeed. And we covered so much of Fulfill Engine. I know it could be very kind of overwhelming of all of these things that this piece of software does. Just request a demo because you will see applied to your business, right? So you'll see how easy that product builder is, or that quote to order feature that both Steve and Raul's Works really kind of called out, right? So you could see that quote to order. You could see this bin system. You could see this production backend. You could see the dashboard that I didn't even get to when we talk about operational efficiencies. What needs to ship today? What needs to ship tomorrow? What did I miss and did not ship yesterday that needs to ship today, right? So much stuff that you get. So I see, just requested a demo for Tuesday in the chat there. So absolutely. Hope it's with everybody. I would say everybody on the team's great. Hope it's with one of our best. They're all the best, right? I say that knowing that they are all the best. So yeah, check it out. Be sure to ask the questions specific about your business and be sure to tell your technical advisor exactly about your business and what you want to do, where your future plans are, because they are experts at connecting those dots. But the catalyst for this is you, right? Software isn't going to make you successful. You identifying where your goals want to be and where you can improve, where your challenges currently are. Let our experts help solve those for you. That goes for Fulfill Engine, but that goes for Stalls too, right? We are here to grow your business. Raul's Works, Brian, see you in Lebanon in just in 1 week. 1 week we'll be down there. So stop by. I'll be in the Transfer Express booth. I'll be in that Stalls little area. When you come in the front door, just head on over to the right and you'll see us over there. Brian, great to hang out with you here today on this podcast. And of course, you can listen to the Heat Press for Profit podcast every single week, live Thursday at 3 p.m. I will be in Lebanon, Tennessee next week. So we're going to have Jenny or Kella. We're going to have Jenna or Kelly on next week. So be sure to tune in for a absolutely impactful conversation into helping your business succeed. It's what all of this is for. But so grateful for you guys here today. And so until next time, happy pressing. We'll see you.